Welcome to The Brad Taylor, where we have a purpose and a passion for business. This is our podcast, and I'm with my business partner, Kathy. And today we want to spend a few minutes talking about systems, processes. And I will tell you, in my book, Intentional Success, The Power of Entrepreneurship, I have a chapter on sustainability. And in my chapter under sustainability, I have a section called Creating a System for Everything. And I'm going to read a little excerpt. Can your business operate smoothly when you are unavailable to answer questions that could have immediately been answered if you had the right systems in place? Systems allow you to duplicate your business while keeping your brand consistent as you grow. And, over the last 25 years, Kathy, lovely wife, we've created a tremendous amount of systems. And the systems have changed as technology obviously has changed. But what's your perspective on creating systems?
Well, I think it definitely makes running a business much easier to have not only systems in place, but those systems written out somewhere. Because if you have everybody doing everything the same, you're going to be consistent with what you're doing. So I think,
Well, also
systems for everything.
Right, but systems also allow you to, as you grow, as your business scales and expands, your systems allow you to duplicate yourself. And that's something that we have struggled with and put in place. The olden days, every time we would have a conference call with our team or we would talk about something, people would email us. And they'd say, hey, can you send me that information? So we finally got smart and we created a whole website for all of our systems and processes. And some of the systems are silly, like, in the sales arena or in the professional world, I would advise everyone to use LinkedIn. But LinkedIn has an awesome video, and the video's called What is LinkedIn? And that LinkedIn video is so priceless because it really walks people through why LinkedIn is so important. And it's just something that, we created a system for. So people that want to know how to set up LinkedIn and what's the do's and don'ts, there's a link for it.
Well, and LinkedIn's really important because that's your professional representation of yourself.
Right.
So
LinkedIn is not Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
It is a whole different process. Well, one of the things that you created a system was monitors.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it's not too easy. So let's see. You decided you had to have more than one monitor.
Right.
At one point in time. I think maybe one additional monitor.
Right.
Which was easy. You just plug it into the computer.
Right.
But then when you decide you needed to have a space station with your main monitor and 3 additional monitors, it became something that needed a system because you don't just plug in 3 or 4 additional monitors.
Right, but when you have 3 monitors, you never can go back to 2.
Never. I can't even
Because
imagine.
you can have one monitor with one thing, another monitor with other thing. And then when people would come to our office, and as we would talk to different entrepreneurs out there, we would show them what we do. And it's not just people that worked for our organization, but other business owners.
Most of them left and went back.
And they all went back and bought additional monitors. But there's a system.
But you don't just buy the additional
Right.
monitors.
There's all these series of things you need, and we created a system for it. We told people what they needed to do that. And man, having multiple monitors is so awesome.
Well, and I think one thing too, when you're talking about systems, and like you say, sometimes it's just little things that you do, but if you don't do it often, then several months later you go to do it, you don't necessarily remember how you did it. So having something in writing, in a document, some type of a how to do something can save people a lot of time because they can just pull it up and they can.
And with our social media, for example, we created a system, and we basically categorized how to do Facebook, how to do Instagram, how to do Twitter.
And it's constantly changing, so we have to constantly update.
Right, and we do that not only internally for our national sites, but also for the people that represent our brand in other areas of the country. One of the systems you created was, in our our magazine publishing business, we used a lot of priority mailers. And so, we kind of wrote up some suggestions of how people can. You remember that? What was that? We had a link that they could go to.
Right,
the
because there
post
was
office.
a specific box they needed to order, or they were going to pay almost double.
Right.
So we had a system in place for how do they order the right boxes and send them off to their clients every issue.
A couple of weeks ago, I had someone ask me a question on my website, thebradtaylor.com. And so I decided I'm going to put a series of links on there. And some of it's probably silly, but, if they want to see the LinkedIn video, they can just go to my website and that link will be there. So I'm going to do that moving forward. I'm going to work on that. But also, I love your analogy on the McDonald's, for example, when you talk to entrepreneurs.
Right, because McDonald's and probably all franchises have systems. If they didn't, you would not be eating a cheeseburger that looks exactly the same in California as when you're in Kentucky.
With
or
so many
Japan,
pickles
or
and so many this.
And the order that they put it on. So,
Right.
I mean, it comes down to silly things like cheeseburgers, but that's what helps you run your business professionally and have people coming back to you because they know you're consistent and you're going to deliver on what they expect.
Well, in our business, we have a saying, and I wrote it down. It says, not following the system is not like not breathing air. But for us, our system is so critical because in our specific industry, in our business, the people that follow the system are very successful. The ones that don't struggle and ultimately fail. And the system is really what keeps your business in those checks and balances. And
Right, it's not about reinventing the wheel.
but the system is for any type of business. When I came from the retail business, and in the retail business, we had a system for opening, we had a system for closing, we had a system for counting the money, and that system changed over the years. But it doesn't make any difference whether you're a small business with one retail establishment or you're a business with offices or locations all over the country. You've got to have systems in place because that's what's going to allow your business to be sustainable. And I think that's the key component because, I wrote something down here that I thought was really important. Systems allow you to solve and prevent problems by creating a solution. Because, we learn from our mistakes as business owners. And every time a mistake is made, we put a system in place so that mistake hopefully never happens again. And that's probably 90% over the years of the systems that we put in place, down to silly things like, publishers would say, tell me how to do a signature again. And we would create a system for how to create a signature with the right links and whatnot. So that's really it. We appreciate everyone for following our podcast. And this is Brad.
I'm Kathy.
And you guys have an awesome day.